Welcome to the Ecom School Podcast, where you'll discover the hidden secrets behind 6, 7, and 8-figure ecom stores. Here's your host, e-commerce legend and founder of the Ecom School, Daniel Taylor.
You're tuning in to the E-commerce School Podcast. I'm your host, Master Instructor Daniel Taylor, aka the E-commerce King, and I want to welcome you to today's show. We got a very, very special show today when I'm going to teach you what to do when your paid ads just aren't profitable. Okay, so we're going to go down a list of troubleshooting things that you can check in your e-commerce business if your ads aren't working. Maybe they never worked, meaning that you never were making money, or you made some money and then they just quit working on you and they just went to crap and now you're losing money. You're trying to figure out what's going on with my ads, okay? So let's look at the first thing. We're going to jump right into this because it's very important. And it's one of my favorite topics because paid ads, nothing grows your business faster than paid ads, okay? But there's no faster way to lose your money also if you don't know what you're doing in paid ads and you start running them and you start just blowing your money without the right strategy, okay? So the first thing is don't quit. Don't quit and say, when I say quit, don't give up and say, well, paid ads just don't work and you'll never do it again. And it's unfortunate because a lot of e-commerce brands, they go and they work with a consultant, paid ads agency or something like that, and they just lose money because the agency don't know what they're doing, a consultant, a coach don't know what they're doing, and then they give up. They say like, oh, this paid ads just doesn't work. It doesn't work for us. We're not making money. It doesn't work, right? And I hate to hear that because I know that paid ads not only works, it's the most magnificent power on the planet to be able to print money. Okay, that's how I grew my personal brand in my living room from $0 to $111,000 a month just by month 2. Okay, in the first month we did $40,000, right? So a little over $40,000 actually. So I know the power of paid ads, and we that's all we do is run paid ads. I love paid ads, okay? So I have a passion for it because it'll change your life. But done wrong, it'll change your life in the other way, okay? You'll be losing money and losing your shirt. So here's the first thing we need to do. We need to set some expectations, okay? So what are you expecting out of paid ads? And this is something that I never really thought about before we had the school because I just kind of assumed that it was just common sense. Like, okay, when you run ads, this is what you expect. You're going to make this amount of return. But I realized that a lot of people's expectations are way off. They're like way in the clouds, right? Like you'll have somebody that says, well, if I spend $30 on ads, I expect to make, $5,000 back. And you're like, well, it doesn't quite work that way, right? So we got to set expectations, right? So here's what I would tell you to expect. Whenever you start running paid ads for anything, the first thing you can expect is to lose a little bit of money while you're testing, okay? So you're going to be testing a few different ads, a few different markets, and so you don't really know what's going to work. So we're just throwing it out there. You don't want to lose a lot of money. Maybe try $10 a day, $5 a day, and just get rolling, okay? So you're probably going to lose that $5, right? But you don't really lose it. You're just trading it for data. So in our business, we don't look at it as losing. We look at it as we're buying data. We need to find out, who's clicking, who's our market, who's buying, who's looking at the ads. And so we're just buying that data from our ads platform, okay? And so that's the first thing. The second thing you can expect after you kind of dial in a little bit and you're starting to get some sales, you're seeing what targeting's working, what ad is working, what's not, and you stop what's not working. What happens is you can expect to kind of break even, right? You can say, okay, we spent $100, we may make $110, $120, and depending on your margins, that could still be a loss, right? But that's okay. Now you shouldn't be losing thousands of dollars, right? Let me start there. You should only be testing with very small amounts of money, $100 here, $50 here, especially if you're not an already established company that's already making, $1,000 a month, okay? You don't want to be out there losing your shirt. So, we started when the company that I scaled to $111,000 a second month. We started with just $25 in ads and never had to put nothing else and just reinvested all the profits after that $25. Okay, So then after you break even a little bit, you can start expecting some profit, right? So then it's like the algorithm's starting to learn, you're starting to learn, you guys are learning together. You're like, hey, this ad, this particular picture and these words to this product, it's kind of yielding a decent return. Maybe you're spending $50 and you're getting, $100 in sales, right? So you're getting some profit, or maybe you're getting $80 in sales, so you're getting some profit. Nothing groundbreaking, nothing that, is going to break the bank, but you're starting to see some success. And then after that, the next expectation is if you keep honing it and you allow the machine to now it's starting to work. Because remember, this is all AI learning. These algorithms are not like it was 10, 20 years ago. These are AI learning machines. They have so much data on all of us. They know once they know who your customer is and they know who's most likely to convert, they go get those people. Okay, because they're gonna say, oh well, most people who buy this product have bought this, have been here. So let's go show this ad to those people. So it's still learning. So after that, now once it starts running and it's out of the learning phase, then you can start to expect 2, 3, 4 times your ad spend, 5 times your ad spend, and sometimes more than that. But I tell people don't expect more than 3 times your ad spend. Anything more than that is just gravy, because what ends up happening is, let's say if you spend 100 and you make 200 and you make 300 back. That's gravy. Like, you're doing really well. If you make 100 and you make 250 back, you're doing really well. You just have to make sure your margins are where they need to be, depending on the price of your product. If you're wholesaling, how much does it cost you, and then shipping and all that. Your numbers have to be worked out, okay? But if you spend $100, if you're getting $300 back for every 100 you spend, you're doing really, really well. And if you're getting beyond that, you're doing great. Okay, so I always like this. That's the expectation. Once the machine's rolling, and now it's up to you. Remember, we talked about you have that front end flow. If you've listened to our other podcast, of 7 Secrets to 7-Figure e-commerce stores. Now you have your front end flow. Now it's about getting your middle flow and your back end flow. So now the number is extra. Now you're getting 6, 7 times return on your ad spend. But just on front end flow, you can after a while you got yourself dialed in. You can expect 2 to 3 ROAS. Maybe 1.5, but if you're not, that may be losing money for you. So you want to dial in 2 to 3 times ROAS. Okay. Now, so that's the first thing. That's the expectation. So the next thing is, have you even gotten enough traffic and let the ads run long enough? So that's the first thing you got to see. Okay, so what we like to do is get 200 unique visitors. Okay, so make sure you've gotten 200, not sessions, not 200 visitors, but unique visitors. That means that 200 different people have clicked on your ad and been to your website. Now, if you haven't had 200 visitors yet, then I suggest that you just don't touch anything, because you don't know yet, right? You don't have enough data yet. Okay. And so you want to make sure you're getting enough visitors to be able to, because maybe you've gotten 40 visitors, but on your 60th visitor, you're going to get a sale. And on your 80th visitor, you get a sale. So you have to look at your conversion rate. Like, you can't determine a conversion rate off 30 sessions. And that's one of the problems I see. Like, you'll see, I'll see people spend $10 and then, get 20 visitors or 8 visitors and say, man, it's not working. I'm not making any money. Why people aren't buying? And I'm like, that's not enough. You can expect a 1 to 2% conversion rate on cold traffic is doing pretty good. Anything beyond that, you're doing great. Okay? So, and when you're at 3 to 4 or 5%, you're doing really well. That means for every 100 people, how many people buy? So if you don't even have 100 visitors yet, coming from this ad, not just visitors in general, they have to be coming from your ad campaign. So if it hasn't sent you that many visitors yet, you can't tell what's going on. Okay. Now, does your platform have a learning phase? That's another thing. All these platforms like Facebook and Google, they have learning phases. So Google's learning phase is 5 days, and Facebook's learning phase is 50 conversions. Okay. So in that learning phase, it's still trying to understand who your customer is, who's most likely to convert. When it comes out of that learning phase and it feels like it knows, man, you're going to be printing money. Okay, so you got to make sure you get it out of the learning phase. The second thing is, have you spent $200 yet? Okay, if you haven't spent $200 yet, and I would say that just let it run for a little bit, right? Unless you just see that it's just totally of it, just like, Like you spent $30 and you have no clicks, right? Like that's something that you could stop. Like something's wrong. You still should be getting, if you spent $10, you still should be getting, maybe 3 or 4 clicks the first day, and then it'll optimize, and then your click, maybe you're spending $1 a click, $1.50 a click, whatever. But if you spent $30 and you got 2 clicks, shut it off, because something is just wrong, right? There's something wrong with what you're doing. So that's that. Have you gotten enough traffic? And let's say I've got enough traffic, I've done that. Well, the next thing you want to check is make sure you have the right settings in your ad platform. Because are you running the proper campaigns? Because in Facebook, I can tell you right now, if you're running click campaigns, you're getting nothing but garbage. Like I don't even think those are real people. I mean, I don't know. Allegedly, because I don't want them to come back and be mad at me. But whenever we click campaigns, never convert. Awareness campaigns, you're never going to convert anybody. But video campaigns and all that type of stuff, you never convert. When I say video campaigns, I mean like trying to get video views, like your targeting options. What we do is always do conversion campaigns. So in any type of campaign, we do conversions. So you want to see like, okay, maybe your settings are wrong. Maybe you're on click campaign. Maybe your pixel isn't proper. Maybe you're targeting the wrong pixel. You just have to make sure that all your settings are right. Who you're targeting is right? Which goes into the next section. Are you targeting the right people? So I want to really kind of expound on this, because you have to know your target market of your product. Okay, now let me ask you this: are you too broad in your demographic? Right? Are you too broad? Because you hear me talk about this a lot. Is just because a product has a lot of different type of people who will buy it doesn't mean you want to make your advertising general to where it tries to touch everybody. You need to still niche down, right? So that's what you need to, what we call niche down is, let's say if I'm selling, I don't know, let's make up something. Let's say if I'm selling kitty litter, okay? So I'm selling kitty litter and I'm targeting anybody who owns a cat, right? So now that's broad. Like anyone could own a cat, from a man, a woman, a kid, adult. So I say, I'm going to target only women who own cats. Okay, so now we target women. And now I say, we're going to target older women who own cats, right? So why am I doing this? Because if we niche down, the message, which we're going to get into next, is the message then can be targeted exactly to that demographic, right? Because the reason why an older woman has a cat that's, 55 plus, 55-year-old woman who owns 3 cats may be different than the reason that a 18-year-old male owns a cat. So the messaging would be different. You don't just put kitty litter. You have to have a message. The person that's in your ad would then be a 55-year-old woman. That would then capture the attention of another 55-year-old woman. So if you have a young 18-year-old male and you have a 55, showing the kitty litter, and you have a 55-year-old woman who has a cat, she's not going to look at that ad and pay any attention. So that's why you have to niche down, regardless of what you're selling. You have to have a target market, a niche of a niche. So yeah, you have the broader market, but you have to niche it down when you're running your paid ads, especially in the beginning when you're trying to start out and be profitable. Now, if you're just like already humongous, yeah, you can go broader and broader. If you're already making $1 million a month, yeah, then obviously you don't want to niche down too much, because you already have kind of mastered those niches. You've already kind of saturated. So now you need to go broader to get more people. Okay, but that's later down the road. So you want to be niching down, okay? And the next thing is your ad any good, right? So what makes a good ad is not what you think makes a good ad. It's very, very cut and dry, black and white. It's not creativity. What makes a good ad is based upon one criteria. Does the ad do what it's intended to do? Period. So if your ad is intended to get people to purchase a product, is the ad getting people to purchase? If the answer is no, it's not a good ad, right? If the point of your ad is to get people to put their name and email and get a lead, then you have to say, well, how effective is it at getting leads? If it's not getting you any leads, then it's not a good ad. It's not based upon how creative or what it's actually saying. Is it doing what it's intended to do? Okay, that determines whether it's a good ad or not. Okay, and so the first thing is when you're troubleshooting your ads, you want to see, are you talking directly to your target audience? So if you're not niche down, let's say you have niche down, you say, yeah, I am niche down, then does your ad speak to that particular audience, right? Is it talking directly to their needs, their wants, and desires? Okay, so does your ad stand out like everyone, or does it look like everyone else's? Now, I can tell you right now, if I go to the Facebook ad library, any of these ad libraries, and look at what's being run in your marketplace, most e-commerce stores literally just copy what everyone else is doing. They're losing money, and then you just copy that, and you lose money too. Like, I don't know why in the world would anyone think that owning a business, you want to make your ads look like everyone else's. That's so crazy to me. That's literally the most backwards thinking I've ever seen. Now you have 1,000 people in the same marketplace that all have ads that look exactly the same. So you want to stand out, and what we teach in the e-com school is you want to stand out. You want your ad to stand out from everybody, all your competitors in the same marketplace, and you want it to stand for something. You got to be standing for something, and that's what gets a good response in an ad. Okay, and again, we teach that process in the M4, which is in the e-commerce accelerator. That's in our accelerator program. We have that. Now, does your ad look like an ad, or does it look like a regular person posting on social media or posting a video, etc.? So the worst type of ad on planet Earth on the internet is an ad that looks like an advertisement. Okay. And the reason why it's so bad is because people don't go on social media to go look at the ads. When is the last time you went online and said, my goal online is to go see what cool ads pop up? Generally, it's the opposite. You're like, these ads are bugging me. Where can I get an ad blocker? I'm sick of these ads, right? That's the general population's mindset towards advertising. And especially social media advertising, especially interruption-based advertising like YouTube ads where they're watching their favorite video or trying to get some information, and here you come with a video popping up in front of there and they have to wait 5 seconds to skip it. They're not happy about that, okay? Or they're scrolling through their Instagram trying to see, what's going on the scene in the social media world, and they're with their favorite celebrities, and here comes your advertisement in the middle. Okay, somebody's logging on Facebook to see what their aunties and aunts and grandmas is talking about, and they log on, they see your ad. That's not what they got on there to do. So if that's the case, the smartest thing to do is to make your ad blend in and look like a natural, regular post. That's how you stop people and get attention. You make your ads look like posts. So now they go like a regular person is talking. So if you're selling whatever you're selling, if you're selling phone cases, you make your ad look like a regular person, like, hey, I just got this cool phone case, and it looks so good. Look, I dropped my phone off the top of the Empire State Building and it didn't crack or whatever, right? So you want the feel of it to be a regular looking social media post, right? And so that's one of our secrets that we teach as well. Now, here's the other thing, are you addressing the deeper needs, pain points, and outcomes of your target market? I would say 95% of the ads that I see, or 98% really, they're feature based. You're just talking about the product. Oh, this sterling silver ring that is this many 925 ring with a cubic zirconium, this many inches and this much in diameter, or a t-shirt, it's made out of cotton and all this stuff. Like, that stuff doesn't matter. Like, what you want to do is start focusing on their pain points, their deeper needs, their outcomes that they want, their desired outcomes, what they're dreaming about, what their nightmares are. Like, that's what you want to touch on in your advertisement. And you're probably wondering, well, how do I do that? That sounds so foreign. You're used to just putting up a product, showing an image product, and then just having some words describing the product, and then running that ad and losing money, because that's what most people do, because it's literally the blind leading the blind, okay? So, what we do in the e-com accelerator, we teach you the exact opposite of that, Okay, you don't want to be doing that. You want to be speaking to the hearts and minds of the person that you're trying to sell this product to. If you're selling a neck massager, we need to be talking about, how the neck pain is stopping them from playing with their children, and how it's stopping them from sleeping and being more productive in life because they didn't get enough sleep, and how it's constant and people don't understand them, and how, sometimes they just, wish that it would just go away, but nothing is working. Like, that's what we talk. We don't talk about the features of the neck massager, like, oh, it has this amount of cords, it runs at this amount of RPMs. Like, you see what I mean? It's we go for what the outcome the person wants and their pain points. That's what the ad should be addressing. Okay, so now that you may say, okay, well, my ad covers all that, right? You got all that. The next thing that you have to ask yourself and look in your product, in your e-commerce business, and say, do people want your product? Is it a product that people are actively looking to buy? And that's, very, very important, especially in e-commerce, which is a little bit different than other marketplaces, because e-commerce products can be hot, they can be trendy, and then they can go away, right? So, like, trying to sell a hoverboard today, at one point, hoverboards are one of the hottest products out there, right? But if you tried to sell a hoverboard today, I don't care if you were making $500,000 a month with hoverboards, with your hoverboard site, you're literally going to be making zero, and you can't, there's nothing you can do about it. People just don't want that product anymore. So, what we teach, we try to stay away from product-based businesses like that. We like to have niche-based brand businesses where, like fishing, everybody's going to want to keep fishing. That's not a trend, right? It's not trendy. Jewelry, women are always going to want jewelry. People are always going to want jewelry, any type of products that never go out of style. Maybe they need to be updated. Like, you can't sell the same jewelry that you sold maybe 5 years ago. It's out of design style, but jewelry isn't out of style. So you just need to update, the new product styles, but the actual category doesn't go out of style. It's not a trendy category, okay? So that's one of the most important things. And let's say people are buying it. Is it super saturated with everyone doing the same things the same way? I don't mind if a lot of people are selling the same stuff in my marketplace, but I don't want to be doing it the same way as everybody else, and everything looks the same. So, like, our ads look the same, our products look the same, our product pictures look the same, our landing pages look the same. I'll try to switch it up. I'll try to bundle it. I'll try to find a way to add things to it. Maybe change the look of it, the style. Maybe brand it differently. Sometimes you may have a good product, but you just have to change up the look and feel of it, because everyone else is just getting it straight off Alibaba the same way and promoting it the same way. Okay, so sometimes that can be the problem. So look and see, is it a saturation issue of you, and if you looking the same as everybody else that's selling the same product, right? So after you check that, the next thing you want to check is, does your website and product page look trustworthy? This is a problem. I don't run into this problem as much as we used to, because people are starting to understand, like, you can get good, especially with the advent of Shopify and Shopify themes, and they're so easy to get something that looks professional. But every now and again, we still see sites that it's like, man, do you think someone will be comfortable spending money on your site? Does it look just thrown together yesterday? Now, I take that back. We have run across a few still, even to this day, where it's like, would you buy something from this site? Right? Do your product images look professional? Does your product boxes look professional? That stuff matters. Like I always say, would you buy it? Just because you made it, and sometimes we get skewed. We're like, yeah, I would buy it because it's mine, like it's good stuff. It's a good product or whatever. But you don't look at it from the customer point of view, from the visitor's point of view. Like, hey, this is from a stranger point of view. Like, hey, that you want me to spend $100 or $150 or $80 with you right now? I've never heard of your company. All I did was see an ad from it. Like, it has to look like it's been around for a while. Right? It's like if you're walking down the street and you're trying to go into a store to get, a convenience store. Are you going to go to the one that looks kind of shabby and dark and looks like they ain't swept up and the sign is falling off? Or the one across the street that looks bright and looks like, brand new automated doors, and it just looks, technology savvy, and everything looks clean and freshly painted? Like, you're going to automatically go to that one that I just said, because you trust it more. Something about the other one you can't trust, you don't feel good about. So make sure your store looks professional. Your product images look A1, and that goes a long way, right? And the next thing is, after you make sure all that's professional, it looks good, looks great, and if you don't have anybody to bounce it off of, and that's why we have the e-commerce accelerator, you keep hearing me talk about it because it's just a phenomenal program. I mean, we do the masterminds every other week, where you can get on live and just ask and get advice and get opinion from master instructors instead of trying to just do it on your own, which is crazy to me. Why in the world would someone try to build an actual business on their own? Is insanity to me. You got to be a part of a community. You got to get instruction, etc. Right? That's just logical. It's not even like something that like you have to sell somebody on. Like, why would you try to do that on your own? Is nonsense to me, right? So the last thing you want to look at is your price, right? And this is a bit of a catch-22 because you got to make sure, is your price too high? Is everybody else selling the same product for half the price that you're selling yours for? So maybe people like your website, you have the right market, etc. But for that product category, they know bigger websites who sell it for cheaper. So your product price is just too high. That can be a problem, right? And there's ways to solve that by bundling, etc. Because if you may feel like if you lower the price, then you're not going to be profitable, right? Because maybe you don't have a great connect. Maybe you're drop shipping. Because if you're drop shipping, your cost is going to be a lot higher than people who wholesale. So that means your retail price is going to have to be higher, right? So you have to look out for that. It could just be a pricing issue. And the way we test that sometimes, we'll just lower the price all the way down to where we're just breaking even, just to see, like, is it a pricing issue? Because sometimes, like, you'll do that and you'll start getting a bunch of sales. You go, oh, everything else was right. It was just the price. People didn't want to pay that price for it. Now, the other question is, if you're not profitable, sometimes your price can be too low. And the problem with it being too low is that you may still get sales running paid ads, but it's not profitable because you're spending more than you're making. And the reason why is because, let's say if it costs you $30 to acquire a customer, but your product you're selling is only $33, then, after you think about the wholesale cost or the cost of goods sold, you're minus, 10 or minus 5, right? So at that point, it's that the pricing is too low. It's too low to be profitable. And again, there's ways that we handle that, which is, you can bundle. There's sets, bundles. There's different ways of going about doing that. The hardest way to try to do is to try to lower your paid ad costs, because acquiring a customer cost rarely goes down. But we can raise the price that they pay us on that first order by increasing the average order value. And so those are things that are very important to do. So hopefully out of this episode, you were able to find, and you can kind of go back and listen to it again and go over, if your paid ads aren't converting, you're probably the problem is probably in one of these steps that I named. You may not even have recognized it immediately, but the problem is it has to be somewhere in one of these steps. Because if you have all this stuff dialed in, then you're going to be making money. You're going to be printing money. Actually, it's by law. It's almost like a law of the universe. You get all this right, there's no way you cannot be printing money. Okay, just because this is what makes ads profitable: the right targeting, the right market, the right message to that market, the right product, the right price. You get what I mean? The right settings in your ad platform. All those things are what makes it profitable. And if you don't have a strategy in a formula and a process that works every single time, then you're going to fall victim to, hopefully you get lucky, and most of the times we don't get lucky. It's like going to Vegas, into the casino, and hoping to hit on blackjack, right? And it happens, but most of the time, by the end of the game, you've lost your money. Okay? Sometimes you win, and most of the times you don't. Now, we can flip it in our favor and say, well, we're going to definitely win if we follow proven strategies and proven processes and formulas. And that's what we have in the e-commerce school, in the accelerator program, the e-com accelerator program. So if you're trying to get to $10,000 a month consistently with your e-commerce store, you have to focus on acquiring customers through paid ads consistently and profitably. You have to solve that problem first. That's your primary focus. not changing colors and not adding more products. You need to solve the issue of getting consistent customers every single day. Okay? And if that's something that you want, I suggest joining the Ecom Schools, the e-commerce accelerator. So we not only give you the blueprint to 10,000 per month using paid ads, we help you implement it. That's the key. We're not just saying, here's how to do it, here's a course, now go figure it out. We're saying, here's a course, here's how to do it, and jump on these live masterminds while we critique you and show you. You can ask questions and we can show you the settings, etc. And you can work with someone that actually knows and has been there, and you have a community cheering you on at the same time. Okay, so you want to go to the ecomschool.com/learn. And again, that's the Ecom School, TheEcomSchool.com/learn, so you can learn more about how to get into the Ecom Accelerator program. Okay, you need, if you're not making $10,000 a month consistently, you're in e-commerce, you had dreams of making it, you want to make money in your sleep, you want to print money, all of that stuff, then you need to be a part of the Ecom Accelerator so you can have a strategy and a blueprint that's been tried, that's been tested, that's been proven over years and years with different stores. Students in there are making money. It's time for you to get to this money and stop playing around. Stop trying to figure it out. Stop just letting your store sit there while you're getting charged every month, right, for the hosting and the apps, etc. So come on and let's take this thing over. Let's take it to the next level. Learn what you gotta learn, and then you can go on if you want to do 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures. That's up to you. But at least as a foundation, you got to be getting consistent customers daily and through paid ads, and then you can turn it up as high as you want, or you can, if you're comfortable with just staying at 10 to 15,000 a month, that's fine. Some people are happy there. Some people are like, hey, I want to ramp it up to go to 6 figures a month. I've done that personally myself, and so some of our students have done that. And some don't want to do that. It's up to you, whatever lifestyle you want. But ultimately, you're never going to get to any of those lifestyles if you don't know how to acquire customers daily, consistently, and profitably through paid ads. So go to www.theecomschool.com/learn so you can learn more about the Ecom Accelerator program and how we can help you build your customer acquisition system through paid ads and get you to that life that you've been dreaming about, because that's what you got in e-commerce for in the first place. You had a dream and you started it and you just didn't have the knowledge to get to that next level. And that's what we do here, okay? So catch you later. Thanks for listening, tuning in. Make sure you make a lot of money. That's what this is about. E-commerce is changing the world, and it'll change your